morning. My name is Mark Allen, for those who don't know me, and I think I met a couple of you yesterday. I am the Area 1 Director, and my area stretches from the San Francisco Golden Gate all the way up to the Oregon border, and I butt up against Georgiana's Section 2, or Area 2, somewhere in the foothills between us. And I've been a president, I've been a member, president, and now board member, just rising to like the Peter Principle to your highest expedition, your highest achievement level, whatever it is. So I was going to ask the non-presidents to turn off their screens, because yesterday's session, I was thrown into it like 2 minutes before it started. And so one, I didn't have the questions. Two, I wasn't clearly thinking. And three, I let everybody on the screen. We had probably 20 people. And it takes a long time to go through these questions when you got 20 people, you know, expounding on their ideas, which was all good because a lot of them, you know, seemed like there were some new ideas that I hadn't heard of. And Jim, as you may have heard, was sitting on the backside because it was Jim's session. So he was a scribe because he was on phone next to one of the participants' computer so that he could hear what was going on. And then he jumped in about 45 minutes after we started. Okay, so let's go ahead and introduce ourselves. Barbara, why don't you go ahead and start and give us a little background on you?
Well, good morning, everyone. I'm Barbara Hightower. I'm one of the co-presidents of Division 69, Area 11, that's south in San Diego County. And we're in the eastern portion of the county out towards the foothills and the mountains.
Okay, good. Peter.
I'm Peter Paulino. I'm the co-president of Division 37. We start at the Golden Gate Bridge and go up to Sonoma County. So it's all of Marin County is Division 37.
Great, thank you. Gail?
I'm Gail Matson. I'm president of Division 33. And we are in the Hemet-San Jacinto area of Riverside County. So if you're familiar with Riverside and Palm Springs, we're a little bit off the freeway between those two.
Okay, Georgiana?
I'm Georgiana Light. I'm president of Division 32, which is Butte County. We live in Chico. I'm also area director for Area 2, and I parallel, like Mark said, I go to the Oregon border, I go to the Nevada border, I go to Truckee, and that's where I parallel 3 and come down just north of Sacramento and do Yuba, Sutter, and Colusa counties.
Wow.
And as Mark said, it's a very large one. And by the way, not only did our son lose his house in Paradise when the Paradise fire went, we had many, many friends and a lot of our CalRTA members. Yes. Right now, I have family that's being threatened, and their homes are being threatened by the Monument Fire, which is up in the very north part of California in the Trinity area.
I haven't heard that one. Is it a smaller fire?
No, it's a fairly large fire.
Oh. Huh.
And it's gone down 299, which goes from Redding to Eureka.
Okay.
And then it's come up over the hill, and it's in the Trinity Wilderness area.
Of course. I just got a reminder that we are recording this, so y'all, if you usually you get a note saying this is recording, do you want to stay or not? I don't know if you got
and I sit on as vice president of the LAS Foundation.
Right. Wouldn't want to miss one of those things. Pat.
It's a wonderful, wonderful group. So,
yeah. Is that Rick sitting in the background there?
Yeah, that's Rick. He's our DRC today.
Yeah. Oh, he's the DRC. Okay, great. All right. Just mute Rick. All right, Pat, go ahead.
Hey, now?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm Pat Boyd. I'm actually Area 3 membership chair currently. I've been past president of Division 75, and I was area director for a few years. And it's life is good.
Pat, I have heard your name for next to forever because I've been in since 2010, I think. And I always heard the name Pat Boyd, but I never met you. So it's good to meet you finally.
Thank you.
Well, I have to say, before I became area director, Pat was area director in 3 and Betty was area director in 1. And I went to their spring and fall workshops and they were my mentors. Wonderful, wonderful area directors. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sally, you're up.
Hi, good morning. My name is Sally Whitlock. I am president of Division 81 in Area 11, San Diego County, in a little town of Fallbrook. We are just almost to the Riverside County line, so we're way up in North County. And I send thoughts and prayers to all of those dealing with the fires. Thank you.
Lola, though you're blacked out, thank you. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Well, guys, my name is Lola. I am from Division 12. I am not a president. I'm a busybody. And so therefore, I come to all the sessions, and thanks to Sue Breyer, we were invited to this so that I could hear you and learn from you. I don't see my president, and I know she has a lot of family stuff going on. So hopefully Sylvia will join us somewhere along the line. But that's it. I'm not a president. I'm just a busybody.
That's good. You were in my session yesterday, if I remember right. You did a lot of contributions. Yeah. Nancy, go ahead and turn your video on and introduce yourself, please.
There
There she is. Okay.
Hey, I'm Nancy Alosi and live in Susanville, and I am president of Division 76, and that's Lassen and Plumas counties.
Okay.
And
in Georgiana's area.
Surrounded by fire, but we had rain yesterday and the night before, which was absolutely wonderful, and it's helped.
Did you have a whole lot of lightning strikes like we did down here?
Not so much in town, but there were other lightning strikes, and we had other fires start around, but they jumped on them quickly. So
yeah, everybody was on high alert. Okay, so the first question here is need to establish who is a co-president. Now I know Peter is a co-president and Barbara's a co-president. Is anybody else? No. Okay, so the question is, I'll start with Peter. How did you and Norm divide up, or did you divide up the responsibilities?
Well, it's very, very simple. He takes care of the division, local issues, the luncheons. He's the newsletter editor, and I handle everything at the state level. All the advocacy stuff and that comes in, and membership and all of that. So it's really easy. And then I fill in for him, of course, if he can't be at a meeting.
Yeah. I saw his picture today, so I know he's here somewhere hiding.
So Peter, aren't you treasurer also of your division?
I am treasurer, and I'm also chair of the Scholarship Foundation.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh,
you want to give them a little background, a little insight on what your division looks like and your board members, just so they can kind of appreciate why you have so many jobs?
Our division has quite a preponderance of older folk in it. And so most of our board members, of which there are now 7 because 2 just died, and they do multiple jobs. As I said, Norm is also the newsletter editor, which those are 2 big jobs. And it's difficult to recruit for the board. We did have one successful experience. We looked for people who would be at-large members. In other words, they don't have an office. They don't have any assigned duties. They just come to the board meetings and participate. And we have one person who's doing that, and she's really good. And she comes regularly and she helps out when needed. And so we managed to get that person. we've had no luck so far in replacing the 2 that have died. But I do find out that what you do to get a replacement is you have to talk to people face to face, in person, and convince them that they need to come and serve. Phone calls are helpful, but advertising and newsletter is nothing. And so we're just working to keep going and manage as best we can. And I think we're doing a pretty good job.
And I'll second that as their area director. Several of my divisions are running that same problem, trying to find replacement parts. Okay, Gail. Oh, I'm sorry, Barbara, you're the other one for this one. Yeah.
Yes, unmute there. Yes, we don't have a real clear distinction between us. Margaret Simpson is the other co-president of our division. Margaret is very good with people, talking with people. So I call her the schmoozer, and that's kind of her main job there. I'm better at organization and keeping records and that sort of thing. So I kind of handle that portion. When we have board meetings or luncheon meetings, we divide and share those meetings. So, and then anything else that comes up, we kind of just, well, would you like to handle that? Or you're real good with this. So if you'd handle that, I'll handle something else.
Yeah.
So it's kind of an informal thing. And we've been very fortunate that we work very well together. And I would not do presidency job without doing a co-president. It just makes it so much easier. We have to travel or family emergency, somebody's got your back. So somebody's there.
Great. My division has had a co-president since I stepped down, and that's been 5 years, 6 years. And I just talk about twisting arms. I had them all stay after a luncheon. I said, all officers sit at this table. And I did not sit at it. I stood behind it. And I said, we're not leaving this table till we have have a president for next year. And I said, I don't care. You want to take it yourself or you want to share it? And 2 people stepped up, and we've been continuing to do that. Not the same 2, but it has worked out really well. I hate to intimidate people, but sometimes, you do what you got to do. All right. So that's it for our co-presidents. So the next question is, and I'll just read it, the whole thing. Are there office term limits, and how long is a term, and how many terms to reach the limit? Okay, so out of that question, maybe you can provide an answer. Let's start with Peter.
No, we definitely don't have term limits. Norm has been the president for probably 6 to 8 years. I've been the treasurer for as long as I've been there, which is 20 years. And no, definitely no term limits. And we just, and nobody really, people are not standing in line to run for office.
No, I understand that. Nancy, how about you, your area or division?
If we do, we don't follow them. I've been president now for, I don't even know how long. I would like to find someone else to do it, but we've talked, and there's several of us that would kind of like to do something else, but nobody seems to step up or want to help out. So here we are. Okay.
Maybe later on the questions, I printed them out last night, but it was like 11 o'clock when I did it, so I didn't read them all over. Maybe we can brainstorm. I know that's one of the issues that everyone's having. Georgiana, how about your division?
Well, I want to say that in Area 2, I have begged and twisted arms of all my presidents to continue, because
Right.
we cannot get anybody in any of the divisions to step up. All our members are older, like Peter said. We're not getting new, younger members. CTAR in Butte County and Chico is taking all our members, you know, and we've done numerous things for membership. I was president, and then I had a 2-year break, and I've been back for I don't know how long, and I don't want to do it. And I've told I can't get anybody to do area division. I term out, I'm an area director. And I've told my presidents, they're going to have to find somebody because I can't do that after 2023. And all my people, my CTC person, my GRC and MRR, all term out. We did that as a board. We were not very smart when we had those officers follow the president's term. So everybody goes at the same time. Wow. So in 2023, Area 2 will probably not have leadership. I don't know what's going to happen. And I think this isn't just Area 2's problem. We have a division that is inactive right now. We have divisions that are on the verge of either losing president, secretary, and treasurer. And those are the 3 offices you have to have. And I don't know what's going to happen. It's becoming a quite a difficult task for Area 2.
May I interject?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm just writing notes down.
Okay. That problem is my problem because I am the new kid on the block and I'm old as hell. And if I'm the new kid, the other kids aren't playing anymore.
Yeah.
So when I try to recruit, and I don't know how, when I try to recruit, I'm falling upon deaf ears. So one of the projects I'm trying right now after this meeting, I'm going to go somewhere where one of my very good members has started to have dementia. And so I'm going to her house. Her son is letting me pick up her memorabilia. He reached out to us, and I'm the only one that answered him. And I said, sure, I'll take her memories. But have you talked to her first? I don't want to take her memories away from her. But anything that's left over, I'd be glad to take. Anyway, here's my point. I'm thinking that with all the photos and things she may have, then maybe whenever we can get back to some kind of face-to-face in person, I'm going to try to have a table full, 1 table, 2 table. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to get. But I'm thinking if I have things that remind people of the camaraderie, and remind people of how we get along so well, maybe that might spark some, because I have board members that have been with me longer than I've been with me. When I came on board, they were board members already, and we still are. So I listen to what you say, and it resonates deeply with me because I'm looking for ways. I'm looking for anything I can do that'd be helpful to my division and my area.
Right.
So
right,
thank you.
Can I interject something? When the Paradise Fire went, our person that was our historian had 3 containers full of our history albums and everything, and they all burnt up.
Oh.
So it's all gone. And we're an older division. You know, number 32 is an older division. So all that history is gone.
Yeah. Yeah. We keep ours through the grace of the upper beings at the County Office of Education. They allowed us to put it into their library system, along with some of the goods that we use on every other month for our board meetings. We don't have to haul in coffee makers and, you know, anything. You know, the goods are already there, so that we only have to replenish it once in a while. And then they bring them to the meeting room, and then they take them back. And if we need the books out, then we know where they are and go get them. So it's not
not everybody is as lucky as you. You guys have a wonderful county board of education.
Yeah, we do. We've had a good relationship with them.
Well, yeah, and Butte County does too. They actually donate and match our teacher grant funding, which is $2,000, and we can meet there anytime. But we don't have the luxury of printing, or you guys have wonderful things that you get to do through your county.
And Peter's even better off with his area.
Peter's better. Yeah. One of the richest divisions, and he gets all this stuff free.
Yep. And they do his mailings too, right, Peter? Or
Yes.
just
Newsletter, mailings, everything.
No, we mail our newsletters.
Oh, okay.
The big thing from our superintendent is the home addresses for the retirees.
Oh.
That we can mail the recruitment letters to their homes. That's
Wow.
the big thing that we have.
Yeah,
And,
yes, you're lucky because we can only get names, and that's
Right.
and they're very hard about not giving out contact information, which is
Yeah.
frustrating.
they also send us the mailing labels.
Oh.
Oh,
Now you're just rubbing it in.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
yeah. Oh
Well,
my gosh.
it's wonderful. It is wonderful that we have that
It is.
relationship.
It is.
Gail.
Well, in Division 33, I'm in my 8th year as president. We don't have term limits. The state has term limits for officers. The divisions can choose that in their standing rules. And to be honest, I've met very few divisions that have standing rules that have term limits. That is foolish. When I took over from Ron Breyer, when he was elected as the Area 9 chair, we did a co-presidency for 1 year, and then I took over. And talk about rubbing it in, Sue Breyer is my vice president. So we have great newsletters, and we've done great online Zoom meetings with our PowerPoints, and we really miss meeting in person because we are an elderly group. We're now losing 12, 13, 14. Last year, we lost 16 members. And for the first time, it's been difficult just maintaining, let alone growing.
Right.
I'm fortunate that Hemet, San Jacinto, Menifee, which is an elementary district, and then our community college are our area. But that is about 40,000 kids. We used to be a retirement community. Now our district has 22,000 kids. The nearby areas, let's see, who was in, Sally, did you say you were down in Fallbrook?
Yes.
Well, then you probably know that Temecula Valley, Murrieta Valley, and Lake Elsinore are large districts, each with over 25,000 students. And they had a CalRTA division that disbanded.
Oh.
Well, it's been 10 or 12 years because it was before Ron's time. And every so often they encourage me to try to get them to be interested in us. And we're a half hour, 45 minutes away, and they are not interested in us, but they do get our mailings, and we do get, we keep reaching out. But I am keenly aware that there is a huge area between Sally's and mine that is not being serviced.
I'm sorry, I did not know that. And I am writing fast notes as we speak because.
Well, at that time, a woman named Pat Parrish was our president, and she died and Ron took over. So somewhere 10, 12 years ago, this occurred. I don't know. It was acrimonious. I do not know the circumstances or the history. However, since then, they've kind of been assigned to us. And I keep saying to the state, you guys know, they're not really near us. They're huge, we're small, we're trying. And Ron and I held a meeting at the Satellite County office several years ago and invited everybody from old membership rolls and people we knew. And 3 people showed up for a meeting where we had prepared refreshments for 20, and it was very disheartening.
I imagine.
So, that's all a concern, but I'm very pleased with what's happening in our division. And I happen to have a board of 14, but 2 are elderly and 2 travel or live somewhere else half the year. And we keep them on for input and respect. And usually I function with about 10. We have a very faithful, good secretary. We have a good treasurer. And then Sue and I kind of do everything. However, when we go to the board, we make the decisions, and we're successful at saying, well, we're going to have this big retiree picnic. Would you handle the food? Would you do this? Rather than having a membership committee, I'm the membership chair, I'm the GRC chair. Obviously, she's CTC and she does our newsletters. So it's kind of a top down, but our board loves us and is very happy for us to be the puppeteers and ask them to do particular things.
Okay.
By the way, my membership is currently at 275, so we're a fairly small district. But I also have a scholarship foundation of $169,000.
Wow.
That's pretty good.
Someone gave us 11,000 Chevron stocks 2 years ago, and we debated, boy, it's Chevron, and we said, that's $5,000 dividends, whether they grow or shrink, we took it. Another person gave us a $35,000 estate before my time. And we raise, I'm going to say, $2,000 to $3,000, sometimes $4,000 a year. So in the end, we have an unusually healthy scholarship foundation for a division our size. And we are giving out, we are offering $1,000 scholarships to seniors each year.
That's nice.
So good things are happening. I don't mean to complain. Life is good.
When you talk about having to travel 45 minutes, Georgie and I,
that's nothing to you guys.
Kind of like chuckle to ourselves because that's like going to one of our divisions.
Exactly.
If we travel.
But remember, I didn't mean me. We're located here. We meet in the Hemet Teachers Association office. We get addresses from our districts.
Yeah.
What I meant was members that are 45 minutes away and are in, how shall I say this, higher income, growing communities aren't really interested in coming to Hemet or being involved with the Hemet group.
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
Yeah. Okay. Barbara, you're still here. We lost somebody, but okay, go ahead, Barbara.
As far as I'm aware, our division does not have term limits. Margaret and I are kind of declaring term limits that we've notified people, this is it, people. It's been 10 years. There needs to be a new influx, new blood, new ideas. And, and some of our very reliable board members have kind of fizzled. And I think a lot of that is because of the COVID. Even as board members, we were meeting via Zoom, but still yet it's difficult to keep that connection going. And, personal things have come up and health issues for people. And so we've had several positions kind of fizzle. And with the COVID, Margaret and I have kind of stepped up and been Johnny on the spot for most anything. To just kind of fill the gap and keep things going and try to keep the flow going. And so I'm hoping that maybe by springtime we can be together in person. Our board has voted to still continue just virtual meetings because we have older members and they have even older parents or relatives or home situations that they need to be very careful of. So we're just gonna have to wait a little bit to meet in person, and hopefully we can get the energy going again January, February, and hopefully our state and national situation will be improved. We'll be through maybe most of COVID and hopefully through flu season and
right.
Get the energy up again.
Yeah. I think all of us have been impacted with the lack of being able to meet in person. I mean, I'm holding a area workshop at the end of the month, and some of our presidents are saying, well, we really don't want to come, but then again, they don't come to the video ones either. So it's like,
okay,
what do you want me to do? Come to your house? We can have all 20 of us sit there. Anyway,
area two, our fall workshop is all virtual.
Yes, I know. You were planning in person up to about a month ago. So
no, never have planned an in person.
Okay, well,
it's always been a virtual because the COVID is so rampant here in the North State. And we have so many deaths and hospitalizations. We're just not asking people to get together.
Yeah.
But
So
that's what's happening in area 2.
So what I'm doing is I'm requiring that everybody bring their vaccination card. I've had 3 presidents ask me, can we have people show proof that they're vaccinated? So 3 out of 7, I can find, it's not a majority.
As long as they don't have fake ones.
Hopefully our members have a measure of integrity. I would add that we had done pre-retirement seminars in person that were relatively successful for several years. And then when COVID hit, the last 2 have been online. CalSTRS comes and does their presentation, and we do a brief one, and we give 3 $50 cash prizes.
Yes.
And Sue and I have decided we will never do this in person again, because our last one online, 175 people registered from all the districts in our area. And while only 100 attended, 100 got that CalSTRS info and our info.
Right.
Sadly, it hasn't turned into membership yet, but we're still following up, and it takes several contacts. But Zoom has been wonderful for the pre-retirement workshops.
Yes, because you're talking to a younger age group that is computer knowledgeable.
Exactly.
And they have also been teaching Zoom for the last year or so.
Exactly.
And it's not a big deal. And they don't have to, like I told them, one of them, I says, they called me to talk about it. And I said, the nice thing you have in this situation is you don't have to be the presenter. You're sitting back like your kids and just absorbing, hopefully.
Let me add one crucial element to that. They have to register using their personal emails.
Yes.
And bingo, they've given it to us. And now Sue's got a list of hundreds that get our newsletters, our everything.
Right.
Yeah. We're going to hopefully be joining, I'm sorry. We're going to hopefully be joining Area 1 for area-wide workshops that are virtual. So I think we're going to try to see in the state if we can move more to that. You know what? It's less expensive because you're not making those hard packets to hand out. You're not feeding them. And so you can increase, they don't have to travel and get there, to rush from their classroom to get to a meeting and then stay.
That's right.
Area 1 does theirs on a Saturday morning and has had wonderful, you'll find out more about that at 11:15, but it's so much easier. And then I've talked to all my division presidents. And so I said, you're not going to have that expense. So yes, we can give prize money, but what would you be spending if you were printing packets? What would you be spending if you were feeding them? So it is, but we are very fortunate to have someone who's going to do all this wonderful computer work. That's the secret. You have Sue.
That's right.
And we have Betty Silva.
Oh, good.
Barbara.
And I'd like to ditto in on the other gals. Yes, we had to do a virtual presentation this time, and our experience was similar. We had 200, and Division 4 tagged on with us because we already had it all set up. And so we had like 200 people register. We had over 100 people actually attend. And the big thing was, like Gail and Georgiana said, you get their home email address. And we have continued to follow up pretty much monthly with some kind of little information or a little letter, or sent the little retirement brochure digitally to them. So we're trying to kind of nurse and bring those people into the fold. And I think we've had several people sign up to be members so far. So that portion at least is working well.
So just to plug my own little thing, and it's not mine, it's really Betty's, we will do a presentation. We are in room 2. That's right. Room 2 after this presentation. Well, not exactly after, but close enough. So if you're interested in finding out more about how to do a virtual pre-retirement event, tune in.
And just add into that, it's not that difficult. You had Sue and some other techno people. We didn't have that. I had to do it myself. I'm not at all techno, and thanks to Sue, I've really learned loads this year, more than I'd ever want to know. But I'm so grateful that her guidance was there to help us and lead us. But we did set it up on our division Zoom account, and to include more than 100, we just paid a little extra fee for that one meeting. I think it was $75.
It's $55.
Yeah, it wasn't expensive at all. You don't have to bump to the higher rate, which is about $1,000 a year or something. It's outrageous. Yeah, so it wasn't that hard. It wasn't that difficult. The only little glitch that you have to be aware is you have to kind of share the hosting when it comes time for the CalRTA presenters to present. And that hosting has to be passed back and forth. That's the only possible place there could be a little possible glitch, but it is doable. It's not that difficult.
We build ours as CalSTRS CalRTA Division 33. We came on and Sue gave some Zoom tips and I gave 10 minutes on Division 33. And then CalSTRS, pardon me, took over for half an hour and they did 15 minutes of Q&A. They ran all that section, their PowerPoints. They had 2 people working. It was spectacular. And then we closed with 10 minutes of the CalSTRS person drew the numbers, and we talked about, the cash prizes. And the whole thing was an hour and 15 minutes, and it was predominantly CalSTRS. That was the hook. This was in March. That's the hook to get them in. And they went away with exactly what they needed. Plus we got the front and the tail end to pander.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's
Well,
move
we
on.
did-
Can I just add one thing?
No, Georgiana, we're going to go on. Sally Whitlock, our question, we really got off topic here, is officer term limits. And
Okay.
do you have
one? Okay, we do not. I apologize. I keep losing my internet connection, so I'm fading in and out. So if you lose me, I'll jump back. I have to rejoin. And
okay.
Anyway, so I might talk fast. And yes, Division 81, we do not have term limits. I've been president, I had a co-president, and unfortunately, last October, we lost 5 of our board members.
Wow.
Yeah, and we had 9, so do the math. So we kind of scrambled and we doubled up on responsibilities and so forth. So I continued as president. I've been in that position for a number of years. And so, as I said, we do not have term limits. And so we just can't, because we're such a small, our membership, we've lost quite a few members. We're down to like 109. So we're pretty small. We're small, but mighty, pretty strong.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, so we limped along this year doing Zoom meetings. We had some excellent speakers, poor, attendance. Of course, the board members were left, that attended, and then members came in, but not a whole lot of success. We were hoping to have an open meeting, in-person meeting in October. We have since not canceled, but gone back to a Zoom meeting and had to revise that. So we're hoping, and then another Zoom meeting in November, and hopefully doing an in-person meeting in December. So that's kind of where we're at. We're, struggling, but those who are remaining are strong. So that's where we're at with that. So before I lose Gail, I'm sorry that this is taking up other people's time, but I would very much like to have your email, your contact information. Can I give you my email so that we can communicate about hopefully bringing in Temecula and Murrieta.
Absolutely.
So here's my email, Sally Jean, that's JEAN 45 @ yahoo.com. And I very much appreciate that because Temecula is like 20 minutes from Fall.
I know.
And Murrieta is just up the road. What was the other one? It was Temecula, Murrieta, and
Lake Elsinore.
Oh, of course.
Good distance. They're actually closer to Corona. I've encouraged Corona to reach out to them, but
yeah, we probably would have better success with Temecula since they're
it's Temecula Valley and Murrieta Valley.
Right. Except, you know, they're close except for the traffic is terrible.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know, during the week and morning time or whatever, it's not too bad. But anyway, thank you, Gail, so much.
So,
nice to meet you.
Next question. Is there an issue with board members who are no longer effective as they once were? We'll go back up with Peter. And what are you doing about it? I guess it's not there, but it's kind of a lead-in question. So Peter, what do you think?
Well, with my division, we really only had one member who was declining, shall we say?
Yeah.
And he lived to be 100. Actually, he was on the board until he was 99, and he has since passed away. But the other board members are really active, energetic, and even though some of them are a little older, we just don't have that problem right now to deal with.
Okay. Nancy, what about you?
I have some really good board members, and there's a couple that they took on a job, and there was two of them, and they took on a job and they didn't realize how much it was, what was in it. And they said, no, we don't want to do that. We will just do this. And so we're kind of, everybody else is trying to fill in with them. So.
Okay.
But most of my board members and the members are very good, very energetic, and very enthusiastic. So,
okay.
But we just trying to get other people to join us is the problem.
Yeah. Georgiana, I know you got a whole bottle of pickles here that gives you problems.
Yeah.
What do you do with these guys that refuse to do their job or they won't leave the board?
We have one that does not cooperate with the rest of the board. We have a very small board. We have 6 people, and we have one that just doesn't. That's it. We just have to work around it.
Okay. All right. So my board, or not my board, excuse me, Division 39's board, used to be my board. It's like 20 people. So I'm hearing 6 here and 7 there. It's like, wow. All right, Gail, how about you?
Well, I mentioned I have 14 board members, including myself, and 3 or 4 are not very active because of travel and etc. age. We don't have problems that we can't work around. And Sally, I sent you my email in the chat.
Oh, thank you.
There you go. Use technology.
Thank you very much.
Very good. So the 3 or 4 that aren't active, what is their function or purpose of being on the board?
Except for our 4 officers, everyone else is an at-large member.
Oh, okay.
The one who lives in Seattle 6 months of the year is the one who brought us the estate with the Chevron stocks.
Yeah.
And he was very initially concerned that we handle it properly and that we move our foundation to Edward Jones. Mm-hmm. And we did that and we do that. And I'm certain after this next year, he'll say, I no longer want to be on the board. But we are eternally grateful.
He just made sure that the investment was.
And he's been a member forever. He's a friend. It was easy to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do have 2 board members who are not online, and I can't change that, but they are actively involved in our luncheons, planning, preparing centerpieces, taking the money, etc.
Yeah.
And so when we meet online, I've taught them how to call in. Mm-hmm. I visit them. I send them all the information, snail mail. We accommodate that because they've been on the board, each of them, for 15 or more years.
Oh, boy.
It's a little bit more of a chore. It is not a problem. And then as other personalities or needs arise, my board very much, we meet every month and we very much work together. I'm an old principal and a professor, and, you know, Sue and I structure things and then they work within that structure wonderfully.
Cool. Barbara.
We've had several board members kind of fizzled this year, as I mentioned, and that's unusual for our division. We have a large board also of about 18, but some of those positions are co-positions, like our teacher grant and scholarship position, because they didn't want to step up and do it alone. We said, fine, you know, you and your friend, perfect, not a problem. However you want to work it, as long as you're working it, you know, that's fine with us. And so we have several positions like that. So we've got a larger number, but as I think back, most of the people that have kind of fizzled this last year have come up with health problems in this last year. And so Margaret gave them a call and, you know, what are your wishes? Are you wanting to still continue to do this? And most of them said, well, no, my situation has changed. So we're now putting it out to the membership that we have these openings. Would you, you know, help us out and come join us and be active with us? So we're in the process of filling some positions.
Yeah. Okay. Sally?
I forgot to add that about the when we were talking about term limits, as I said, I lost 5 board members, but so then, and we just, you know, combined duties and that, you know, and so forth. But prior to that, we tried having just have the position of presidency handled by the board, just kind of make the board have a problem with one of our board members, who was one of the ones that actually dropped off. But prior to that, she was just struggling. So I just assigned a co-person with her to help her handle her duties. And eventually the co-person kind of took over. And so so that happened, and nobody had to take a hard line or anything. So just through the course of time, you know, massaged into that, you know, situation. So it was a non-issue, but I worried a lot about it because I didn't, you know, it's just a tough piece, you know. I mean, she, you know, was willing, you know, her spirit was willing, but she just did not fulfill what she had signed on for.
Right. And maybe she was able to do it very well early on, but
yes. And
age catches up with all of us eventually.
Right. Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. We have that same kind of problem. And you know, even when going back before when I was president, we have one member who loves to hear herself talk, and she's been involved forever, and she wants to tell us everything she knows about whatever subject we're talking on. And it's like,
oh boy,
you know, we used to have board meetings that lasted 3 hours, and it's like,
oh
yeah, well, you got 20 people and you get a few of those talking, it takes forever. Sure. So yeah, been dealing with it also for a while. All right, so let's go on to how many school districts does your division cover? So that's a real quick, easy thing to do. All right, so let's go back with Peter.
19.
19 districts.
Oh boy.
Okay, Nancy.
I'm not sure.
Okay. Georgiana.
I work with the county offices to send things out to the teachers and to communicate and stuff. So I think there's about 107 schools,
Okay.
but there's 514 teachers. I don't know how many districts.
Wow. You don't have to work too hard to get your information out.
No, I've got wonderful people working in the district offices.
So you probably have one district if you only have 500 teachers, or maybe two small districts. Yeah.
One district, Susanville's, Lassen County School District and Plumas County School District. So
okay.
They're the ones I work with. So.
Okay.
Wow, I'm going to move.
Yeah. Georgiana.
I have 14 districts, and we have 91 schools and 18 charter schools.
Wow.
Nancy, how many schools do you say you had? I heard 500 teachers. So how many schools?
10, 12.
I think there's about, I'm not really sure.
Okay. All right.
I know when we give out flyers and stuff before we did it over online.
Right.
And I would make up 514 flyers to send out.
Okay.
Nancy, you have Greenville, don't you?
Yes.
And see, Greenville, that's the town that completely burnt, except the schools were left standing. So for everybody's information, it's like Paradise. They lost schools too. And the Paradise High School is doing some fundraising for the Greenville High School.
Yeah.
It's a very, very sad thing.
There is some people from Paradise that are really helping the people with the Dixie Fire. There is a man that comes up almost weekly and brings stuff up to give to them.
And you know, it's sad when you lose a community, but your schools are still there. And that was such a wonderful thing that there is at least that in that community. It was a lovely community.
The school is going to the other schools are going to, the kids are going to Quincy for school now. The ones that aren't open. I guess the elementary school is not open right now.
Okay, Gail, how about you? How many districts?
Well, I want to say God bless Peter and Georgiana.
Yeah. Yes.
I have only 3. Hemet has about 20,000 and San Jacinto has about 10,000, and Menifee, which is an elementary district, has about 5,000. We connect with the community college, not much. So we have good working relationships with Hemet teachers and San Jacinto teachers associations.
Well, that's fortunate, because that's not statewide, as you may have heard in yesterday's.
Well, you know, Ron and I were presidents of HTA, so
yeah,
we come through that route.
Yeah, that kind of helps. Barbara.
Our division has 8 different school districts. I'm not certain the number of schools or the number of teachers. Right. And yes, it's difficult to communicate with those different superintendents. They have different levels of acceptance. And like many, we're running into the difficulty with CTR. The districts are giving part of their retirement package is to give a membership to that organization. And so why do I need to be interested in CalRTA? They don't realize that we're the ones speaking up for their pensions.
I have an issue with districts paying, it doesn't matter whether it's CalRTA or CTA, paying with public money to their retirees to join a professional organization after they're gone. Now,
can I say something about that? Yesterday, we
Georgiana.
discussed that.
Hang on. When I was a teacher, I belonged to the professional organization, but that was part of my budget, and I attended their workshops along with, my own area workshops. We put on our own. But for them to spend taxpayers' money, that's an issue that doesn't sound right. Yeah, go ahead, Georgiana.
I'm sorry. I don't believe that is what it is. We talked about this yesterday in our session.
Uh-huh.
And I think what it is the local CTA that's paying it, because districts cannot, and Rick being a former superintendent, districts can't use their money for that.
Right.
So if you look further into it, I think it's your local CTA that's paying that.
Yeah.
And I will reluctantly add, as a former CTA NEA person, that's smart negotiations on their part.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
they're small and they're not doing well.
Our division, or it wasn't a division, whatever it was, local. Anyway, our unit always gave every retiree a lifetime membership to CTA national, but I have to pay the local dues every year, which is kind of crazy, but anyway. All right, so Sally, you're last on this question. Yeah.
Okay, we have 4 districts. We have 2 high schools, and the rest are elementary, like K to 8. One district is a K, it's kind of interesting, a K to 6 school. They have one school.
One district is a school.
Yes.
Yeah.
One district is a school, K6 school. Gail would probably know this is Vallecito's. And
well, I know all those rural areas down there historically have a variety of configurations. We have the same with Idlewild.
Idlewild, yes. And so what really helps us I have to throw this in, in communications with the district, the superintendents / principals, or generally the superintendents, when we put out our teacher grant applications that goes out to all the schools, and we have this automatic contact with the superintendents and the principals, so that it's, when you're coming around giving out money, you get smiled upon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
So that really helps us maintain that connection, so that they're saying, oh yes, CalRTA, yes, come
Our superintendents get our newsletters, and Sally, at the end of the year, I send them a letter that says, congratulations, these people won CalRTA scholarships, these people won Division 33 scholarships, and these students received $1,000. Plus we have members who are on the boards, etc. But anything we do, we put out there, we put out there, we put out there.
Right.
Exactly.
So Sonoma County has 45 school districts, all the way from a school district, Santa Rosa, which has about 900 teachers, down to the small little one house school room district with 4 teachers. And
what is that?
Oh, it's out in the coast somewhere. I can't even tell you what it is now, but I know it's really small. Around where I live, we have a district in Forestville, which has 16 teachers. And these 16 teachers went on strike the year before COVID happened because they could not get their negotiations settled. And I liken it to the farmers, who are raising crops for us to live. And they're the ones sitting on the school board and saying, these teachers have it too easy. I work sun up, sun down, which they do, and just fighting it. Well, I actually, as a CalRTA person, and at that time, president, I think, maybe it was a couple of years before that, offered my support and went out and walked on their line, the Red for Ed type movement. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't do much more, but I also asked our members not to cross the picket line and go in there and work.
Yeah.
Don't break the picket line. You were a teacher once. You need to honor that kind of stuff. And everybody agreed and thought that was a good idea. Anyway, that's enough of that. Okay, next question. What has been an effective way to communicate with the districts? So Peter, you're up first again.
We are very weak in that area.
Oh,
I have.
thought you were doing good because your county ed person by first name basis.
Well, yeah, that's the county office.
Okay.
But as far as the individual districts, not much going on.
Oh,
and we could do a lot better job there.
Okay.
My suggestion has been that of the 19 districts, we have 3 districts that are large.
Yeah.
And we focus on that. We focus on those 3
Yeah.
and improve our relationships with those. But that has not met with much support on the board.
Okay. Nancy. Nancy.
The superintendent of Susanville, Lassen County, I taught with her when she was a teacher. And so I just call her up and talk to her and ask her to do these, could you send this? Could you do this? And she's very helpful. And in Quincy also, I just talked to the district superintendent and they help me send information out to the teachers. I don't talk to the principals or anything. So.
Okay.
So that's just call and talk to them.
Yeah. That wouldn't be the case probably in UTLA.
Right, because we're small and that's the best way to do things.
Georgiana, how do you deal with your communication with your districts?
We actually work through the county office. Like when we do our teacher grants or when we've done pre-retirement events, they're very cooperative to send them out to the districts. So because we have so many, that's how we work.
That's great. Gail?
Well, we're going to have to improve because as Ron Breyer and Sue Breyer and I all age, our contacts are fewer and fewer. He was a very popular football coach and union president, and I was a union person and then a school principal, and Sue worked at the DO as as an instructional coach and went out to the high schools. So among the 3 of us, we knew lots and lots of people.
Right.
Now they're retiring and have become members, and there aren't that many administrators that I know of. We still have some friends on both school boards in Hemet and San Jacinto. Both superintendents know who we are. The Hemet superintendent, we've used the boardroom. She reached out to us to help with the COVID shots. We have a good, comfortable working relationship. And I mentioned more and more, they are getting everything online in color from us. And Sue does some pretty spectacular things.
Yeah.
We're not that close in Menifee. And our county office is in Riverside, which is 40 miles from us. I know that's a short distance for you guys, but for a working relationship, our members would not go to a meeting there. And then our satellite county offices are out in Palm Springs, and there's another one in Menifee, which is close. And when I went to meet them and check out the room, their conference room holds 15. So we're constantly looking for new ways to keep those lines of communications open. And our teacher grants, which require basically no application, we give 15 $100 teacher grants a year. And those go to the superintendents and the principals and everybody. So we think of everything possible to keep the Cal RTA name there, since we can no longer go to staff meetings.
Right. Barbara, how do you communicate with the different districts?
That's still a challenge for us. We are still trying to develop some relationships with district superintendents, and at times we've even bypassed the superintendents and tried to go directly to principals, especially if some of our members or board members have had a personal relationship with the principal, we worked with them, it was our district or whatever. And some have been responsive and some have not. And I'm looking at us with a new teacher grant scholarship person, at least getting out with flyers and advertising. We've got monies that we're sitting on that we would like to give to you, and see if that can start to begin to spark their interest, to, you know, get their attention that, you know, we're here and we have money and, you know, we're trying to support you. The other thing that we have used with the COVID for division scholarships, we've been using Donors Choose because it was not in person, and that has been successful for us. And we pick and choose projects that are only in our division area. So it would be our local teachers. And then we're trying to advertise that to districts and teachers and our membership also. So we're continuing to work on it. It's a work in progress.
Okay. Sally, how about you?
Well, as I said, the teacher grant.
Oh, man. Okay. Hey, Ron.
Be in contact.
Sally, if you can hear us, mute and unmute and stop video and turn video back on, and that may help you.
Yeah,
okay.
You're breaking up big time.
I know. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Okay. It just happens.
Okay. All right.
Well, now I know how to take care of that. Thank you.
Yeah. Am I back? No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yay. Okay. I'll make it quick before I fade out again. Anyway, so of course, being small geographically, you know, that helps too. We're in the works of, we had never invited our superintendent and or principals to our brunch meetings, and we were on right as we were, you know, going to do that, COVID hit. Yeah. So we definitely, if, you know, hopefully if we can have a in-person meeting in December, we certainly plan to do that, because we, you know, we need to really continue to court them and, you know, have that connection. So.
Well, that's a good idea. Way of making a one-on-one introduction is to have them come to your luncheon and ask them to give a little 5-minute talk about the district or what's going on in their lives.
Exactly.
That is a great idea. We've had our superintendents and our college president, and they come with PowerPoints and half-hour programs, and then they know about us and they feel that we're interested in them. So
right.
If we ever go back to in person, of course, we've had one do one online. So it's a wonderful idea, Sally. Yeah, and Barbara, great. I sent you a chat about teacher grants.
All right. We only have a couple more minutes, so I'm not even going to ask you if you want a bathroom break. So this is.
Can we raise our hands?
Huh?
Should we raise our hand?
Yeah, raise your hand. I'll address it. Yeah. This next question is, what has been an effective way to communicate / work with the union, which we all have problems with. So if you have something, throw it in. If not, just say don't. Peter.
Okay. Nothing. I'll go quick. All right.
Okay. Nancy.
I'm
going to go down the line. So
I'm sorry.
Nancy.
No, we don't.
Okay. Georgiana.
No.
Okay. This is real simple. Gail.
I think I kind of covered that our illustrious leader, Ron Breyer, was a president and that I was in the union.
Okay.
We have great working relationships with HTA and SJPA. Yeah.
Barbara.
No.
What was that? No?
No.
Oh, okay. And then Sally.
Okay. union was always really strong. I don't know exactly what has happened because I've been retired like 20 years, so it's been a long time.
All right.
And but we do. At one point in time, I personally would attend their board meetings, and we also had put an article in their newsletter, and so they.
Wow, there she goes again.
Is like I said, back when I was first to maintain a relationship with our union, and they were always very welcoming. So, but it sort of faded out. So I need to give that,
rekindle it. Yeah.
Give that some.
She's gone again. Okay, let's go ahead and go on to the next question. And this is, we already touched a little bit on it, so don't go deep. I didn't write notes because it wasn't on the area, but how does your division keep its history? Scanning, scrapbooks, what? Peter?
We had been doing scrapbooks and we still have some, but we're not doing anything.
Now nothing.
Right.
Okay, Nancy.
We had scrapbooks. I am the historian. Now we have a website, and Susan is keeping all of the newsletters, and that's about it.
Georgiana?
Currently, we're doing the newsletters, and then we're actually using our board minutes as a record of what we're doing, because there isn't, at this point, we don't have any people that will step into doing that as a.
And so where are you keeping the newsletters and the board minutes so that's accessible?
Well, they're on the computer, okay. But if it goes, then where do you go? So
right.
It's very difficult if you don't have people to step up.
Yeah. Gail.
I agree. When our historian passed 6 years ago, the scrapbooking stopped with her.
Yeah.
However, due to technology, we have videos, we have PowerPoints of pictures. Every meeting has a PowerPoint, our newsletters, everything is online with me and with Sue and in the cloud, and I don't know what else, but it's all accessible. It's just not something where you walk up to a beautiful scrapbook and turn the pages.
Yeah, there's something lacking.
Because she has Sue Breyer. If we all had a Sue Breyer.
Yeah, we all had Sue Breyer, yeah, all right.
Well, I'm
Barbara.
obsessive online and storing, but it wouldn't look like Sue's stuff.
Yeah, right. Barbara, what did yours group do?
Actually, I'm the historian for the group. That's kind of how I got started and twisted into this position. I actually take photos and document our meetings and activities, and we used to do some traveling trips before COVID, day trips. I would take photos of all of that, and actually I keep a digital copy, and I have put it on disk rather than going to the cloud. I personally is not a big cloud user and wasn't real familiar with that. So I have disks, and if at any point someone else wants to do the position, then that would just get passed to them. And we have a photo cube that I take to meetings, and I keep that loaded and up to date, and it runs a slideshow during the luncheon meetings.
Fun.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because people weren't looking at the scrapbooks, and there was like, I want to say 20, but not that many big, heavy, honky things, and where do you store them, and et cetera. So one summer I just sat and scanned everything.
So you've converted all your stuff to digital then?
Yes.
Okay.
Wow, that's impressive.
And I'm assuming our treasurer and our secretaries are keeping minutes digitally. So I don't keep that.
Okay. Looks like we're about ready to drop out of this. Thank you all for your